Welcome, travelers. I'm Josh.
I'm Glenn.
And I'm Lee Wanika. And this is Tabletop Journeys, where we will be your not-so-humble guides on the quest for RPG adventures.
Here at Tabletop Journeys, we are all devoted role players and storytellers at heart, and we absolutely love sharing our passion with you. On our show, we feature diverse tabletop RPG systems, demonstrating them through actual plays and breaking down the rules to provide you with tips, tools, and techniques to help you navigate them. We also love bringing the content creators behind these games into the studio to give you a peek behind the curtain with relevant and insightful interviews.
Let us help you get the most out of your story, no matter what game world or system you're playing. Because detailed settings, heroic characters, diverse NPCs, and a focus on story over rules can make any campaign legendary. Now, here's a message from friends of the show.
What up, Nerd Nation? Steve here from the Dads with Nerdy Ambitions podcast, or DNA for short, your go-to podcast for all things nerd culture. You want to know fun facts about the latest movies? Done. Interested in a new hobby? We've got you. Have questions and want to hear from the experts? Say no more. Join me and my crew every week to hear about our latest takes on everything nerdy and go on a few tangents on the Dads with Nerdy Ambitions podcast, where we know it's not just a hobby, it's hereditary.
Welcome, everybody, back to Tabletop Journeys. We are happy to welcome back Jay Mooers. Jay, welcome back to Tabletop Journeys. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, guys. Good to be back. I missed you guys.
I know, it's been a while. Normally we try to record these a little bit closer together, but situations being what situations are, we are finally able to sit down and roll some dice against the updated version of Fae. Now, longtime listeners of the show may remember that there was a actual play of Fae, probably, a year and a half or 2 years ago at this point now on the show.
Just about 2 years.
You can find that in our backlog if you want to check it out.
Absolutely, yeah. Before we get cracking here, Jake, can you give us some high points on what people are going to hear if they're familiar with the previous actual play or if they're familiar with Fae? What's changed since the edition that we played a couple years ago?
Okay, the basic premise of the game of Fae is that you play monsters hiding in the modern-day human world, as opposed to being the heroes, which you can be, or you can be terrible Mogwais like somebody over here was last time. But basically, the premise is that you do not exist, and as long as nobody knows you exist at the end of the day, you're at least winning at that. The game originally came out on, I believe we played it during the Kickstarter for the original game, which was a huge success.
Correct.
Unlocked a whole pile of stretch goals. I got them all in that big, glorious hardcover rulebook. And since then, I've launched 9 different adventure books, an expansion which came out in January this year. We had a Kickstarter for that, which did great as well. And now we are delving into the next bit of the Fae world. Unlike other RPGs where usually the first thing you can pick to do is play a person, a human, it's taking the third book of Fae to finally introduce being able to play humans. These are humans that are, let's just say, they're a little more physically hardy than most Fae creatures, but their brains can't handle Fae powers as well. A lot of them are mentally fragile and can get pretty messed up pretty fast, which makes it fun. So you're basically going to be doing a light play test of the next expansion, which is called Fae Mortals, where you play humans that are in some way integrated into the world of Faes and monsters, and whether they're willing participants or unwilling, everybody gets to dabble a little bit. So what we're going to be doing tonight is we have a new cast of characters. I'll let you each introduce yourselves before we get started. But the basic premise is that you're a bunch of people that are involved in Fae things, which you should not be involved in.
I like it. Excellent.
Good
yeah.
deal.
Why don't we start with character introductions then and see who we're playing tonight? And then we'll be able to go ahead and get in. Let's see. Ramen, since you picked your character first, why don't you introduce yourself first?
Okay. Hi, I'm Glenn from Tabletop Journeys, and tonight I will be playing Ramen. And while I definitely didn't have a choice in being part of the Fae world, I've been at it my whole life. I was enslaved to the Fae since I was born until a year ago when I managed to escape. And now I'm not sure why, but I'm going back.
Excellent.
People with big
Jeez.
weapons have convinced you to go back.
Right, fools with weapons. Exactly. Yeah. All right, Krieg. How about you, sir?
I am playing Bruno Krieg. I am best described as a hunter, but some might say a wee bit of a crackpot. At some point in the past, I was out. I was imbibing of the fluid to an extreme extent, and I saw some things that humans were never meant to see. And I did the only thing that a person in my condition probably could do in that circumstance, which was pulled a gun and shot the thing. It was a fae. It was a monster. And I brought it to the world, and nobody believed me. I was told it's like hunting Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Chupacabra, all of that, those kinds of things. Later on, I found another one, and again, nobody believed me. So at this point, nobody believes me, but these monsters keep coming for me. So I'm no longer on the defensive. I'm out after them.
Excellent. And rounding out our little cadre here, I will be playing the fervent believer and vessel of retribution and all things anti-Fae, Deacon Marne.
Dun!
Did I somehow get roped into being the leader of this group again? Is that... So what's funny is that anybody that listened to the big adventure game actual play that we just did and heard me play Galal, the zealotous dragonborn, is probably going to hear a lot of similarities between that character and this one. So that'll be interesting. I think I'm on a
Come
theme.
on, Josh, you do bossy good.
I know. Apparently, I do zealotous bossy really well.
Yeah. Besides, I'm a zealot also. I just happen to not be the one who's a leader in the zealotry.
You're a tool to the man.
I'm lucky my name isn't Shallot.
Yeah. All right, Jay. Without any further ado, then I think we turn it over to you. So let's get crack-a-lackin' here.
All right.
It's all yours.
Before we get started with the story, I'm just going to quickly go over dice mechanics with everybody here. It's very simple. In general, whenever you're making a roll, you're rolling against either your stats, which are all 1 through 10, or your opponent's stats, which are also 1 through 10. If you're rolling against your own stats, you want to roll your stat number or under. If you're rolling against your opponent, you want to roll their stat number or over. Rolling the stat number exactly is when crits start happening, and that's when things can get a little extra crazy. We'll refresh the rules with everybody as we roll along here, but let's go ahead and get started. You've all recently met. The Deacon Marne has recruited what he feels is an able team. He's been sent on a quest from his powers that be to deliver weaponry to a gate that leads into the Fae world.
So that's a very interesting point, just to go ahead and start right off here. Ramen, why would I have chosen you?
Because you've somehow, I'm not even sure how, but because you found out that I came through that gate. I spent my entire life up until about a year ago a slave to a bunch of bogies in Avalon, the Fae dimension, where if I didn't work hard enough, I was eaten. But I managed to escape, and I was desperate because I don't have a job or any money, and the mortal world is confusing, and you offered me both, so
I see.
I agreed to show you how to find it.
I see. A guide, if you will. You are helping us on our quest to the summit of Everest, so to speak.
I'm not going back.
We don't need you to go through the gate, of course, Ramen. You just need to bring us to the gate. That's, I would not expect you to move through the gate.
So that's why you have picked up Ramen, who appears as a semi-homeless man sitting in the back of your military-grade Hummer next to a large crate that you're taking with you.
Yeah, he's long, he's tall and skinny too, like thinly built, and he's almost too skinny, like he was afraid to put too much meat on his bones, or he'd start to look appetizing. and he's got stringy shoulder-length hair that he lets hang over his face to hide his expressions.
No, so you're me from 1997. Got it.
Give the man some torn jeans and a flannel. And then your next character that you've picked up in your lovely vehicle.
Naturally, Krieg would be I am assuming that while we may not be like longtime associates, I would assume that somebody of Krieg's skill and fervency would be a useful addition to this party. Clearly, we're going to need some firepower. We're going to need some backup, so to speak. So I'm sure that Krieg has some sort of a reputation which precedes him. We may have even worked on previous missions before. There's some sort of a connection there. So this all makes sense to me.
You have a pretty thorough network with your military connections. This is not a military operation. This is a U operation. So obviously you're working with non-military personnel, but you've been able to learn about these people and their rantings and ravings about Fae monsters.
Yes.
Through your networks. And
surely the ones that I would be most attracted to would be the ones who listen and digest and understand my particular form of rantings and ravings. And Krieg as someone who has been raised correctly and listens well and is a thinking man can surely understand the things that I'm discussing. So surely somebody of his intelligence would be an asset on this voyage.
Yeah, Krieg is particularly well versed in Fae things. I have several unusual abilities that allow me to kind of know what's coming and make some judgment calls on what we're up against. And I even have the ability to impact and affect a few things in that supernatural realm. I am
come a long way since that first accidental drunken encounter, huh?
I have indeed.
Trial by error.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to think about it is one of the most important things you can do when facing a threat is really get to know the threat, right? That's been my modus operandi. I knew something was amiss, and I've gone out and learned as much about it as I can in an effort to be able to handle it. We are under siege. Humanity is under siege, and I intend to be part of the solution.
Excellent. I would say also, too, that one thing that you both notice about the Humvee is that so surely it's outfitted with stuff, right? It's like normal operational stuff. It is also outfitted with an air hockey table.
Excellent. It actually plugs into the lighter port for your power for the fan. So that's good. You are driving on currently on a dirt road, a little rough. Probably going to be a little tough to play an air hockey game at the moment.
Not the point.
Okay.
The good thing about an air hockey table is it gives us a nice space we can take our monsters and put them out so we can figure out what makes them tick.
Exactly. We can lay maps out on it. It's a nice reading surface, but he frequently is rolling around an air hockey puck in his fingers.
Ramen slowly raises their hand.
Yeah. What do you need? What do you need, Top?
What's air hockey?
Oh, it's a fabulous game. When we are on our way home, I will have to show you how to play. It's fabulous. It's like hockey, but with air instead of ice. And no ice skates.
Are basically traveling through very sparse country, heading out Midwest. It's a very stark landscape. There's an occasional collection of rocks, occasional tuft of trees, but not very much to look at. Your road eventually turns into ruts as opposed to an actual road that you're following. But as you guys are traveling along for a ways, it gets to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon when Ramen, you see the monolith that you remember running from, and it feels like yesterday. There is a door that leads down into the ground, sticking out in a random location ahead of you, right where you remember it was.
Ramen in the back seat has started breathing a little bit more heavily, a little panty, and he points. That's it. That's where Bacon and I came out. There's a door down low towards the bottom.
Yes.
Bacon didn't make it, though. We found the highway, and he was hit by one of those really big truck things.
Was Bacon a dog?
No, he was the slave that escaped with me.
A person?
Yes.
Named Bacon?
Yes.
At least it wasn't a dog.
We didn't even know what it was then, but now I know that it was a road where Bacon died.
It's a shame when we lose road bacon.
All right, so Jay, you have to understand, road bacon is like a running gag on the show. Like, it is as close to a callback as ever appears on the show. Road bacon, in some way or another, appears in every actual play we do. That's genius, Glenn.
It came from one of our first ones. It had to do with leftover breakfast.
I feel like at some point we are going to have a moment of silence or an air hockey game for bacon.
Yeah.
I like it.
If you had us approaching on like a highway or something, like with trucks going down it, he was going to ask to stop the truck and have him all have like, this is where he died. But we didn't come that way.
I'm sorry. I should have given you an opportunity. I wasn't thinking bacon at the moment. I apologize.
That's inherently the issue. The folks here at Tabletop Journeys, we are always thinking bacon.
Yeah.
And I'm quite often thinking bacon.
So, Ramen, sensing your trepidation and understanding that this may be a very uncomfortable situation for you, I would like to try to put you at ease a little bit. And again, so I'm just talking very casually about, yes, Ramen, yes, we appreciate your insight here. We appreciate what you have experienced, and you are among friends, you are among your own kind now. We'll keep you safe, but I'm trying to go ahead and help you feel a little bit better about this. Could I maybe make it a charm roll or a wit roll to try to smooth his fear a little bit?
It depends on how you want to approach it. Are you trying to be nice? Actually, you have a good stat in either one.
It's both the same. Exactly. It's the same. It's mechanical. I have the same stat, but I'm not sure which one. And I'm not going to metagame and look at Ramen.
More of words of wisdom, and a charm thing would be more of the personality.
Deacon is more. Yeah, Deacon is more of a honeyed word sort of guy.
Let's do a charm then. Go for it.
Velvet glove on the iron fist sort of thing.
Yes.
All right. I am rolling.
You're aware that
D10.
he's not military trained. You can't.
You're right. Exactly.
Treat him differently. Yeah.
All right. So here's my D10. Okay, it's a 7 on the roll.
You got an exact.
Oh, I got his. That's okay. So I got my charm score exact. I thought I was rolling against his charm score.
So you're rolling against yourself.
Okay.
It's your own charm.
Got it. All right.
So you rolled your exact number.
So a critical success then.
Ramen, the way he's talking to you reminds you of your father. Treat it however you want to.
I'll try for you. I'll try.
Choke him back to you.
A little bit.
Yes,
Well,
that is all.
not
that
actually tears. You can hear them in his voice, but he does not cry. You did nothing to draw attention to yourself in the slave pens.
That's right. You don't want to marinate the meat.
Exactly. Look, you laugh, but he's actually hoping that we're going to have an opportunity to rescue his best friend, Hot Pocket.
It can happen.
Oh my goodness, Glenn, what are you doing to me? You can't have any meat if you don't eat. You can't have any pudding if you don't eat your meat.
All right, so I have successfully calmed Ramen down. I hope, anyway. Yeah.
You are feeling okay, Ramen. You're feeling like at least you're with good company. You have the best shot of accomplishing whatever it is you hope to accomplish by being here with this crew.
The only way Ramen will have a chance to affect anything is if it's on this side of the portal, because he's currently convinced he's not going through it.
So you guys pull up the Humvee to right up to the door. Unless you knew it was here, it'd be very odd to stumble on this door. And there are no signs. There's no paved roads. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. And this door looks like it just sticks up out of the ground. It's a regular size iron door, and it just dives down into the ground behind it.
And the goal was to deliver a thing to the portal, right?
Yes. That is your goal. What you share with them is completely up to you. But yes. And that is the large crate, thankfully with wheels, that you actually have in the back of the truck.
Okay. Krieg, Ramen, would you please take the large crate that's in the back out of the vehicle, please?
I will absolutely start doing so. I will, however, just make sure that the snap on my cold iron machete is unbuttoned. And right before I step out of the vehicle, I pop open my flask, and you will see me put like a powder thing in my beverage and shake it up and close the flask, and Deacon will recognize that that's quite unusual. The last time we worked together, I was a heavy consumer of beverage, but in recent years I've decided that a clearer head would be better for the tasks that come up, so I'm no longer doing the stuff I used to.
Let's see.
While Krieg is doing all of this, Ramen is waiting patiently in a hunched position with his eyes downcast beside the crate for his partner to arrive for him to do his work.
So you have a sip of your energy drink?
Yep. Let's get this.
As we're carrying this crate, Ramen says over the top of the crate to you, I did hear your joke, Top. I just didn't find it very funny. I used to love it when they called me Top Ramen, but I didn't understand. It wasn't until I came to the mortal world that I learned that we were all named after foods, and it's because if we didn't work hard enough, they ate us.
Do you have a different name?
No, Ramen is the only name I've ever known.
We're gonna have to come up with a better name for you, kid. I'll think of something. Just do your best not to stub your toe or anything like that. I'd hate to have to call you Stubby. Let's go!
All right, gentlemen. Over here. I'm assuming that by this point you have gotten the crate out of the truck.
Yes. They're carrying it over to you.
Yep. All right, this way. Ramen, you said the door is over there, yes?
Yeah, you see it's like those slanty stairs that lead into the bottom of a house from the outside.
Yes. Oh,
and he's kind of pointing with his chin because he's got both hands on either end of the crate.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Mostly just looks like a mop flapping at you.
Yep.
Because of his dangling hair.
So I'll excitedly skip maybe a step or two ahead of these guys as they're carrying the large, heavy crate over to the doorway so that I can prop the doorway open. I'm assuming that's where we're going to... Ramen, where is the gate? Is it beyond the door here? Is that... Yeah?
No, it was very dark, but I remember. To come out from the gate, I went left, right, and ran up those stairs into the light, finally.
Left, right?
Correct.
Good answer. That was a test, see? So, all right, so then we need to do those backwards. Okay, fair enough. All right.
That would make sense, yes.
Yeah, okay. I will... If I open the iron door, is there like a place where they can step through and then I can close the door behind me? Or is it like spring-loaded or like
You pull it open. It has a closer on it. It creaks. It's a metal door. The thing that really hits you as you open the door is a coolness and a dampness. It is not cool and damp out here, but as soon as you open that door, it's been bottled inside and it just billows out at you from the darkness down below.
I kind of tighten my jacket around me a little bit. I figure he's probably wearing like a blazer or a sport coat or something. Ooh, chilly. Krieg, do you have a flashlight?
Probably not.
You know what? The guy with the lights, I'll let you have a flashlight. In fact, I'll let you have 3 flashlights in the vehicle. You can each take...
Okay. Yep, fabulous. And if you guys are carrying the box, I'll have a flashlight. So
I will have. If it's just a flashlight, I'm gonna assume it is a
pocket one.
Yeah, actually,
one of those right angle ones. Yeah,
a military one with the various types of lights. So I'll have it on. I'll obviously have some light discipline. I'll have it on.
Basically, all it's gonna do while you're carrying the box is illuminate
lens.
the side of the box in your face. But
Yep.
But it'll be red.
So, seeing you with the red lens, I would ask, is that what you recommend, Krieg, that we go low light?
If the monsters are going to see us, they'll see us no matter what. If they are not able to see us in the dark, then this will help hide us from those ones. My guess is most of them can see in the dark, but for the few that can't, let's not make it easy on them.
Ramen is nodding as he says this, and he tucks his flashlight into his pocket and does not try to hold it or turn it on.
Krieg, you want to give me a wit check, my friend?
Absolutely. Let's see here. And that is a 2.
All right, my friend. As you're stepping up to the door, you realize the door looks to be made of iron.
No.
You're aware that iron is poisonous for Fae creatures.
That's interesting. And the door is shut. It's not open?
Well, you guys just opened it.
I will look at you and say, why would we have been sent here to open a door that would have prevented them from coming through?
We're going to close it behind us, Krieg. We're not going to leave it open so that they can just freely traverse in and out. We have to make a delivery.
Deacon, what are we delivering again?
We are delivering supplies, which are going to be used by a team of operatives like ourselves on the other side. Variety of things in the box, really.
Sure thing, Deacon.
We never figured out how to hurt them. I don't know what you could have in the box.
See, exactly. If I told you, then they would know.
So as you guys are approaching, basically the door opens up and there is a staircase heading down into the darkness. You can hear the faint sound of dripping water somewhere below, and it's murky as all you know what.
I will pull out my handgun. I've got the flashlight on red lens, but I've got my handgun now drawn at its side.
Okay.
Ramen suddenly pipes up just before we go down the stairs. Didn't I see one of those expandable hand trucks in the back of the Humvee? Couldn't we roll this instead of having two of us bound up with this box?
The box has wheels, gentlemen. I assumed that I just needed to get out of the truck. I'm not sure why you continued carrying it. The box has
I
wheels.
was about to say that. I said
You told me to carry the truck. You told me to carry the crate.
I just said get it out of the truck. No harm, no foul, Ramen. I apologize for the miscommunication. You can certainly use the wheels on the crate. I don't feel like you have to go ahead and put yourself out. I think that's a very valid point. Which of you do you think makes most sense to go ahead and wheel the case?
If only one of us is pushing it, it should probably be the stronger one.
Except I'm probably the better shot. Why don't you go ahead and push?
He's looking at the boss, not at you.
I think Krieg makes some sense. Let's see how you do, Ramen, and if you get tired and need to be spelled, please just say the word. We're working as a team here. We're all on the same side.
Yes, boss. And he lowers his back, puts his hands on the crate, and starts pushing.
All right. Give me you have a pretty high wit. You're on stairs.
I meant when we get to the bottom of the stairs.
Okay.
When we get to the bottom of the stairs.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say...
We will continue to carry it until we reach them.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're heading down the stairs. I assume you let the door close behind you?
I make sure that the iron door closes behind me, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it closes tight enough. There is no light leaking in around it at all.
Perfect.
Is it iron on this side?
Close, all three of you give me a wit check.
That's a good question. Is it iron on the inside also?
The door itself is iron.
It's all okay.
Yeah.
6 on a 7.
Okay.
I did not pass that wit check.
Also a 6 on a 7.
All right. So those of you who passed, you hear like footsteps on the steps ahead of you, heading down.
Okay, so we're all the way down at the bottom of the staircase, and there's another staircase.
As you're heading down the steps, as you close the door, you hear, as soon as the light disappears, you hear down, like clicking, going down the steps ahead of you.
Light steps or heavy steps?
Light steps.
Anything on the flashlight? Did the flashlight see anything?
No, with the red. Yeah,
right now we're still carrying it.
You are.
Yeah, the two to get it down the stairs. I assume you're both still carrying the crate. Yeah. Until you get it down to the bottom of the steps. Since you let them, are you in front of them heading down the?
How wide is the staircase?
It's about 5 feet wide.
So is it wide enough for me to be next to them as they're carrying?
Yeah,
it down?
you could hug the side, and you have one handrail on that side, and there's another handrail on the other side.
Yep. So again, I've got one hand on my flashlight and my handgun out.
You have to like walk at an angle.
Yep, that's fine.
Kind of crab walk down the stairs on the side of the crate.
Yep, that's fine. But I've got my flashlight and my handgun out, so if there's something on the stairs, if I heard a sound, I would definitely be trying to scan and see what it is that I'm seeing, what I'm hearing.
It seems whatever it is, it seems to it's traveling faster than you guys that are down the steps. So when you started hearing it, it was already slipping out of sight.
Okay.
Do I recognize what could make that noise? What it sounds like? A Fae creature with using Fae lore.
Yeah.
That would make a clicking sound like maybe hooves or...
give me a Fae lore check. Let's see how you do.
All right. What does having the skill do for me?
If you didn't have the skill, you wouldn't be able to roll it at all.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. No. I have no idea. That or I'm completely wrong. I rolled a 10 before.
Yeah, it could have been... It sounded like nails, claws, something going down the steps. That's all you could get out of it.
As we're going down the stairs, then, I will use hand signals to gesture to both of you. Do you both understand if I start using specifically hand signal commands? Do you understand?
I believe that, Craig, you're walking semi-backwards right now. I assume you're on the front of the crate.
Yeah, I'm on the front walking backwards, so I'm not going to see them at this point. But
you should. You could. He's walking beside us, so he could just stick him over the top of the crate.
He's right next to you, pretty much.
Yeah, I can pretty much figure it out. I think I get close, unless you do.
It'll be fun, because what I'm going to do is I'll secretly roll and interpret his hand signals for you. Yep. If you fail, it'll be something else. But
so...
Ramen has no training in hand signals or anything, so either he can stare at you blankly, or you can mime it, and I can try to interpret it. Your choice.
I will. That's why I asked. Is because if you knew what I was saying, I would just say it. But since you don't know what I'm saying, what he does basically is because he heard but didn't see it.
Stop. He's got 50-50 shot whether he'll just fist pump you or
Yeah. He does something like this. He's pointing down the stairs.
Ramen nods. Yeah, I heard that.
And so what Josh is doing for the listening audience is he's waving his hand by his ear and then pointing in the direction of the stairs.
Good call. Pantomime doesn't work so good on radio.
If Ramen had not heard the sound, I would have spun that into a different interpretation. But you did hear the sound, so I'll let you make the connection that he's just letting you know he heard the sound.
I like it.
I, however, did not hear the sound, but that's fairly basic.
You understand the hand signals a little better.
Yeah. So
you've hunted with buddies before.
Right. Welcome to the middle of the show. We wanted to take a minute and thank the people who help make this show possible, our Patreon supporters. We like to shout out our adventurer level Patreons, so extra big thanks to Tim Morris, Joe Harney, Dave Rideout, Adam Scaramella, and Marty Napier. Patreon supporters get exclusive content, free copies of all of our published and unpublished game supplements, early access to episodes, and free invitations to our monthly games. You can learn more at www.patreon.com/ttjourneys.
Speaking of published material, have you checked out the supplements we have on DM's Guild? We have 2 full books, The Traveler's Guide to Collaborative World Building, The Traveler's Guide to the Multiverse, and you can combine it with all of our supplements to make your next roll legendary. Go to www.ttjourneys.com/DMsGuild for more information.
If you're looking for Tabletop Journeys swag or need a fantastic set of new dice, then you should check out the Tabletop Journeys Spring Store and our affiliate, FanRoll Dice. You can make your first purchase through FanRoll at 10% off, and every purchase helps support the show. You can learn more about that at www.ttjourneys.com/fanroll. And if you want to get some awesome t-shirts, hoodies, hats, or other gear, check out www.ttjourneys.com/swag to get redirected to our spring store. These are the same vendors that we use for our add-ons when we do Kickstarters and stand by their products.
But the best way you can support the show is by joining the conversation. Did you love one of the episodes? Did you disagree with something we said? Maybe you just want us to cover your favorite game system a little more, or talk about a brand new system. Check us out at linktr.ee/ttjourneys. That's our link tree. And join the conversation.
We hope you're enjoying this week's show, so here comes the second half. Don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening to us, and if your platform lets you leave a comment or a rating, why not hit the button and show your support? Thanks again for listening, and now on with the show.
Can set this down, it will be down, and I will be at the ready.
Yep.
Yes. You get down to it's a fairly long run of steps, and when you get to the bottom, it levels out into a hallway. There's maybe a half-inch of water on the ground, and the walls they seem like they're almost like a stucco, except they're semi-damaged from moisture. There's definitely stuff growing up the sides of the walls a bit.
So it's like somebody built this cavern. This isn't like a natural cavern.
I was gonna say, this is a man-made. You have a military background. It seems like it's an old bunker.
Yep.
Okay.
Directly ahead of you is a large pair of doors. There is, looks like a code box on the front of the doors with a series of numbers on it. And then to your left, you can actually see the hallway heads down further.
Ramen, you said the last
and
turn
you can place
that you
the crate here. The ground is level. So.
Yep. Ramen, you said the last turn that you made was a right, correct?
He stops. You can hear really quietly under his breath, and you can see that his eyes are closed. And he's mumbling, left, right, left, right. Right was the last turn.
Okay, so then he and Deacon will gesture down the passageway to the left then. So then you came from there.
He nods.
Before we go, though, I want to investigate that door. You said it has like a number keypad on it?
Yes. It looks, with your military expertise, it seems like a reinforced, serious door. Do you have a tech skill? Your skills.
I don't, but I think our fourth player had the technology skill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give me a wit check -2.
Wit check -2.
I just want to see if you pick up on something that should be fairly obvious, but
that's a success. That's a 2 against a 7.
It looks like there's no power heading over to the control box.
Ah, okay.
There would normally be a little light on the side, waiting for input.
As soon as it looks like we stopped and you were checking that out, and you didn't have to actively push the crate, Ramen hides in the shadows.
Okay. Ramen's trying to stay as...
And that will be the case every time.
Yep. So Ramen kind of slips into the shadows a little bit.
Oh, kiddo.
Give me a sneak check, Ramen. Basically, every time we stop somewhere, just give me, just on your own, just roll. Let me know if you passed, failed, or nailed it.
2 on an 8.
All right, so you're...
Sneak's his best skill.
Someone has to know you're there to notice you. Everyone else is far more noticeable. Basically, if you nail it, then nobody knows where you stepped off to. If you pass, you're the least likely out of the 3 to be targeted by something at the moment.
So you two can still see me, but I would likely be unobtrusive to anything else that came along.
Right, you're not invisible. There's other things that are drawing creatures' attention.
Yep. Okay, looking at the door, Krieg, do you have anything that could help us get through this?
I'm looking at it. Does it look like there's a crease? Is it a slide door? Do I see like hinges? Is there anything that I might be able to use to force it? Or is this like a big bunker vault, turn the doohickey kind of?
I'm looking at your skill list. You're really not savvy on tech. It looks like almost like a vault, electronic vault.
Okay. So what I'm looking for based on my skills is looking for weak points in the physical construction. Does it look like is this vault door? Does it look like the hinge might be weakened or rusted?
All right, give me a wit check while you're really investigating the door.
That's a 2 on a 6.
All right, you do notice not a weak point, but you notice that there are a lot of scratch marks about 2 feet up on the door itself. Something like a little stronger than rodents. So they managed to dig some nails into the outer coating of the door. We're scratching, trying to pull it open.
If Ramen, just observing from the sidelines, succeeds, actually, with a 4 on a 4 for my int check, to combine that clue with what he had before, can he determine the Fae creature?
You're watching. Since you nailed it, you notice that he's noticing something over there, and you're noticing it as well. It looks... it could be boogie claws. It's about the right height for a typical boogie. And you're familiar with what their slashing claws look like. Probably have a couple scars on your back that would look like those.
Yeah, Ramen says when he sees you looking at the door and notices them plus the sound from before, he goes, boogies. Very softly.
With this, I'm going to take out my machete, and I'm not actually going to damage my weapon by digging at the door, but I'm going to make it look like that, and it's more to have my weapon at the ready. And that way, hopefully, me looking like I'm not ready for them will make them think that I am definitely ready.
You're trying to make it look like you're just trying to pry at the door, right?
Yep. Hang on one second. I just want to check on that. If I'm using my 2 questions on my see Fae ability. 1,
Yes.
how long does it last if I engage it?
So it's passively activated if you touch a Fae,
Okay.
which means if you're talking to somebody and you put your hand on their shoulder, you can find out if they're Fae or human just by contact.
Okay.
But if you're going to cast it, it's like a pulse. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
During conflict, it would be your action for that one turn. During a passive, it's just going to give you it's almost like a radar blip.
Okay. Now, it does specifically say I won't know who is Fae, but I'll know that there are Fae. Will it let me know how many?
I think it lets you. Let's see here with see Fae. It'll basically let you know where the closest Fae is to you, basically.
Okay. I don't think that's going to be terribly useful at this moment, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't think spell magic will necessarily work. All right. So in this case, I will. Yeah, I guess I'm going to roll my sneak, which is a 4 out of 6.
All right. So you look like you're just prying at the door, and you happen to have your machete in your hand.
Yep.
No suspicions whatsoever. Yep. While you're investigating the door, and Ramen is also semi-investigating the door, but he's picking up on the boogies. What is
Once
Deacon
Ramen
up to?
said bogeys, he would be looking around, not at the door anymore.
Yep. Okay, so you're looking around. What's Deacon doing?
If he believes that Krieg is working to open the door, he's going to be looking down the hallway that he knows leads to the gate, since based on Ramen's...
Okay. So the hallway runs about, from what you can tell from where you are, it's still there's definitely a haze to everything. It plays with the deformed shadows that you're getting from your lights as well. But looking down the hall quite a ways, seems like it goes down about 40 feet from where you are right now. And you think you can make out a double door directly at the end of the hall. But it also looks like it turns left and right at the end of the hall. While you're looking down there, give me a wit check.
It's a 6 against a 7.
All right, there's something there. And once it realizes you're shining the light down there, you quickly lock eyes. Something short. It's hard to tell what color it is because all you have is your red light. It looks prickly. And once it realizes you lock eyes with it, it takes it takes the left down at the end of the hall.
Okay. Gents, we're not alone.
That's why I said bogeys.
Would they be, prickly?
Bogies are more hairy.
Harry?
This definitely looked prickly. Let's pursue. Come. And he'll start moving down the passageway, assuming that these two are following him.
Okay, so you're taking point, heading down the hall.
Ramen dutifully goes back to pushing his crate for the boss.
Okay, you're happy to keep the crate between you and whatever might be up ahead. How about Bruno?
Yeah, Bruno Krieg. He's happy to go by his last name. He will definitely have the machete at the ready.
Right. So where are you going? You staying to the side of the crate? You're staying in front of it, behind everybody?
I'm gonna stay in front of it. I need to be in the front.
Machete's a frontline weapon, yeah.
Yep.
All right. So you guys are heading down the hall.
Yep.
The box definitely makes the air stir. It's not very aerodynamic, so you're getting these swirling effects of the murk, as it were, spiraling around the sides of it as you push it along. Give me a wit check, Ramen.
Okie-dokie. 3, so that's a success.
All right. Thanks to the parting of the mist around you, suddenly you see a foot, and it doesn't get... You get to roll initiative as something comes out at you because you were ready for it.
Okay.
So we're each going to roll initiative. This is going to be starting the conflict. It's a 1d10 plus your wit. It's how quickly you think.
7 and 7, 14.
All right, you are definitely going faster than the 5 that the other character got.
It's an 8 and 7 for 15 for me.
What's going to happen is they're both going first because they initiated it. And what did everyone else get?
I have a 14.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's 15 for me.
14 and a 15, okay. So then Deacon, and then Krieg. All right, so first up, Ramen, you recognize the foot of a boogie when you see one. Boogies can hide in shadows and essentially remain unseen, but because you guys are stirring the mist, this one's leg was exposed.
In front of me? Beside me?
To the side of you. It was letting the crew go by.
Okay. So, bogies are what had Ramen as a slave, held Ramen as a slave, and he came through the portal with bogies.
Yes.
And just happened to escape because of other creatures they met here in the darkness. So, Ramen gives a small squeak, goes around the box sideways, shoving it into the bogey, and runs towards them.
All right. Give me we'll do a dueling speed check as it tries to get out of the way of the box being shoved at it. So you roll a speed check and he rolls a speed check.
I got a 1 against a 7.
He failed, so you hit him square with the box, right into the wall. He takes a little bit of damage. Suddenly everyone in front, you didn't see the monster, but Ramen shoved the box against the wall while squeaking. It's going to try to shove the box back, trying to hit you against the wall on the other side with it. He just took... So Ramen, another strength check, because now it's being swatted back at you. Actually, this would be strength. You both have your hands.
Last time it was speed. This time it's strength.
Yeah, because you're both pushing it at this point.
A 4 and a 6.
You both passed. All right, so nobody's getting squished, but the box is kind of center of the hallway. You're on one side against the wall, and it's like on the other
and
side.
I'm kind of doing this and this, trying to see which way it's going, because whichever way it's going, I'm going the other way.
Right, you're basically on opposite sides of the crate right now, pushing it towards each other. But both of you are like against the wall, pushing at it. The other two each give me a wit check.
That's a 2 on a 6.
It's a 5 on a 7.
Look at you guys rolling so good over here, using up all your good rolls now. All right, you guys see that there is a small, about 2.5, 3 foot tall, I guess it would be, closest thing would be Looney Tunes Gossamer.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a ball of hair with bulging arms and claws and a couple of glowing eyes and maybe a couple teeth peeking out of the fur on one side, pushing at the box. Meanwhile, Ramen is on the other side pushing at the box as well.
All right.
Next up is Deacon.
Okay, I would say careful with the box. The material in there is very sensitive, and he's not going to fire his handgun at the box. He is instead going to pull the sword off of, he probably wears it on his back. He is a one-handed sword, so he will pull that off of his back and try to swipe at the Fae instead of shooting at it. Like
Sounds
he'll just
safe.
like stuff the gun in his pocket for right now and just try to do that.
All right. So physical attack, you're going to roll your speed number of dice.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You roll 5 dice.
All right.
And each one and you want to roll 6s or higher.
6s or higher. That's 2 successes.
All right. So you understand how damage is calculated. Each die that beats your opponent's speed lands a hit. So you managed to hit him twice. Your base damage for it is you always do 1 point no matter what with any weapon.
Okay.
Your strength isn't high enough. You do not get a strength bonus on that.
Okay.
And you are skilled in one-handed sword.
I am.
So you do an additional point per hit. So you do 4 points of damage. You
Okay.
do 2 points of damage per hit. You did 4.
Okay.
Nice. Seeing this and what's going on, Krieg turns like on a dime and does a Bo and Luke Duke kind of Dukes of Hazzard slide across the top of the box with his machete swiping at George there from Looney Tunes as he's coming by and just goes for him.
Okay. So
that would be my
do
speed
a little
is 6.
extra style to this thing. You're doing the slide over the box.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Starsky and
give me
Hutch
a
and Luke
speed
Duke
check.
style.
Give me a speed check, my friend.
All right. So
Let's
speed
see how
check.
graceful you are. Do you have any skills and? Nope, nothing. Okay.
Yeah, that for skills.
No, you don't have anything that would really help it. Oh, maybe ballroom dancing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So how'd you roll?
Very poorly. I rolled a 9.
Okay. The box didn't weigh as much as you thought it would. When you jump onto the top of the slide, the whole box and you tip over.
Okay.
I think what was happening is you had two characters on either side pushing at the thing, so it was lifting off the wheels a little bit. And then you decided to slide over the top of it, and instead you take the top of it, and you topple the whole thing over. Let me roll, let's see if anything happens here. Let me roll again.
Bet you wish you told me what was in the box.
This is bad.
All right. I'll go with that roll. I'm going to waive the first roll because this game would have ended right there, and that would have been a shame.
Oh, so my guess was right.
Get off the nuclear weapon. Yes,
Yep.
Get off the nuclear weapon.
So you and the lid of the box crash to the ground. You do not get to do your attack.
Fair enough.
But you find cylinders come out of the box, topple around, roll around you out of the box on the opposite side. The box is no longer being like shoved back and forth by Ramen and the boogie. You're now looking right at each other across the hall. So we're going back to the top of the line. Actually, no, we're not.
Well, I would say so on the canisters, I'm going to put this in the chat, but on the top of the canisters, you see the code C3H5N309.
I take
I'm not
it
sure
Jenny...
Ramen can read, so...
Yeah, Jenny's got it. She's got it. She's got the number on the canister.
No, that's 86.
Sure, something like that.
It does end in 309. Good call, man.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. I didn't get the bacon, but I got that.
That's 3.
I had to say all the numbers just Ramen would in order to
Well,
figure out that 309 was from the
right.
song.
That's 30 the letter 9, not 30.
Oh, you're right. That is an O,
Yeah.
not a 0.
C3H5N309.
Yeah, but
Well, in the song, he says 309.
Yeah. Correct. He does.
so
Well,
phonetically,
for some reason, you get this song stuck in your head while you're crashing across the aisle there.
Yep.
Krieg, something lashes out at you, right at your face.
all right.
Your speed. You're a military guy. Your speed is pretty good.
Yep, it's a 6.
All right. You take simply 3 points of damage as a claw manages to catch you across the top of the nose.
Alrighty.
You're aware now that there are other things in the shadows here.
Okay, so there is more than
Those brand
just-
new claws.
Those are new claws, yes.
I don't like brand new claws.
No. Monsters are fascinating people. All right, next up is Ramen.
So the entire time that Ramen had been having this reverse tug of war with the crate, he'd been going, I'm not going back, not going back.
And then,
the crate gets taken out, and he's looking at the thing across.
Horribly ungraceful leap, like he kind of belly flopped into the edge of the crate and took it out of the way.
And it's all gone, and he's sitting there wide-eyed, and he's staring at the bogey, and the bogey's staring at him, and he's staring at the bogey, and the bogey's staring at him. And he picks up his bat, and he says it more firmly, and he says it loudly, I'm not going back! And he steps forward and starts wailing on it.
Your speed number of dice, my friend.
Which is 7.
You're a quick bugger.
And I'm rolling under my strength?
No, you're rolling over his speed. You're basically trying to land
Over
the
his
hit.
speed.
His speed is 6.
I dropped one on the floor, so I'll roll a different one.
See, that's why you needed extra d10s.
And I need to be over, right?
Yes, you want to roll 6s or higher.
Alright, I got a 10. I got a 10. Those 3 won't count. That one won't count. I got a 9. I got an 8. And those 2 won't count. 4.
4 hits. All right, let's calculate what you do for damage. Using a one-handed blunt weapon.
I have one-handed blunt as a skill.
Yep, so you're already at 2 points, and you get a strength
And I have a plus
bonus.
1 for strength.
So you do 3 points of damage per hit, and you just landed how many hits?
4.
4, so you did 12 points of damage.
Way to go, Griff Jr.
Maybe you'll make the Hall of Fame.
Ouch.
So
He made the Hall of Fame.
he understands what you're saying to him, but you pissed him off because you hit him with a baseball bat in the head.
Yeah.
He jumps at you.
If only we thought to twine some of that iron-infused rope around my baseball bat, huh, Krieg?
Yeah, that'd have been nice.
It would have been more damage.
Ramen doesn't know, though. So.
Then you could call it Lucille.
And you could.
Iron infused.
Yeah, I have that.
All right, this hits a little harder than the last one did. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. Stuff happens.
Take 12 points of damage as it manages to like grab hold of you really good. You recognize this pain.
Indeed. And he hisses but doesn't cry out.
Deacon, you're up.
He is just
are
about.
watching various canisters of yours rolling back down the hallway. Basically.
That's really poor, but he can't deal with that.
No, there are
right this
other
second.
pressing matters.
Yeah. So he has seen at least one other thing jump out of the shadows at Krieg, right?
You can see two of them. They are not hiding right now.
He is flipping the red lens off of his flashlight then and flooding the area with light and wants to see how many more he can see, and then he's going to pick a target based on which one's the closest.
All right. You do see a third one. It was not acting. It's next to the one that was just antagonizing Krieg.
Ramen. Oh, Krieg.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Whichever one's closest, I will pick. And
That would
again,
be the one that's getting hit with the baseball bat.
Yep. Perfect. Then I will hit that one that's getting hit with the baseball bat with my sword. So
Okay.
again, speed of 5, 3 successes.
By the way, Krieg, you are detecting Fae right now.
Yeah.
So how'd you do? 6s or higher?
3 successes.
All right. So that's
Another 6 points of damage.
6 points. All right. He's bleeding pretty good right now.
Okay.
Next up is Krieg.
I'm going to attack the one that has already been injured first.
All right, so you're ignoring the one that's biting you in the face or clawing at your face. Back at the one that everyone else is attacking.
Yep, reduce their numbers, and that will be our best chance. Or at least make it so we have more of us than they have of them versus
Smart
equal.
hunter.
I am going to swing my machete at it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Iron machete?
My iron machete. 3, and I got 1 6.
Okay, if you got 2, it'd be a crit.
Okay. So
3 successes?
So 3 successes. I have +2 to damage.
Yep, and you're using an iron weapon, which is another +1 to damage.
Correct.
And you're skilled in the weapon. So it's
Yes.
So it's 1 point for hitting, 1 point for the skill, 1 point for the iron, and 2 points for the strength bonus. So it's what, 5?
Yep.
5 points
Yep.
per hit?
Yep. So 15 points of damage to that one.
Yeah, that one is obliterated. Describe how you slay this beast.
After it gets pummeled and softened up with a baseball bat, it catches a sword poke from my dear friend Deacon. It's sitting there, and its hands were still up and outstretched towards Ramen, and I cut it in twain right through the center part of its little lopsided head, and I say, "Let's split the difference, boys. You two go left, I'll go right." And I turn to face the one that previously attacked me.
I feel like you turn before it falls into 2 halves.
Oh, yeah. I knew what I did. And I'm ready.
That's fantastic.
All right. Down to 2. The one that was attacking you is going to reassess the situation here briefly. All right. He keeps his cool. Decides you're the problem. He is leaping at you, my friend.
Excellent. Come to Papa.
Oh God! I got 1 successful die roll. I rolled almost all 1s, except for 1.
Excellent.
Hits you once for 3 points. It's a pathetic flail, like he psyched himself up to jump at you, but then he poorly jumped at you. The fear was still there, but he manages to land a little bit of a hit.
Hey.
The one that was appeared when the light changed decides to run. So it's running basically back the way you came towards, like, the electronic door and the stairs.
Oh, I'm sure as hell going to shoot it when it gets past the canisters.
Okay. So it's starting its run. Next up, we are back at the top of the lineup with Ramen. There's 2 halves of a bogey in front of you.
We killed it. He's rocking a little bit. We killed it. We actually killed it. And that's what he does for his turn.
Okay. Works for me. Next up, Deacon.
All right, I am shooting the one that's running away.
All right. So it's a 1 die roll for the shot. I'm pulling up the new gun rules that we have here.
Yep.
It is considered small,
Yes.
so it's +3 to its speed. It's harder to hit, but it's going to take more damage if you hit it.
Okay,
so your target number you're trying to hit, you need to roll a 9 or higher.
Okay, how do I roll my speed number of die again? Is that
Just roll 1 die. It's 1 shot.
1 die? Okay.
You are skilled in the weapon?
I am.
Let's see. Do you have the proficiency?
Yep. I have handgun
So you
skill.
could aim and take your shot next turn. It's not going to get far enough away to
It's not going to get far enough away? Yeah, then I will level my shot and aim because I want to make sure that,
Yeah. So you're basically you're gonna remove that speed adjustment on it.
Yep.
On your next shot. So you're just waiting on your shot. He's small. He can't get that far. He's not gonna get around the corner before the next turn. And he's still in range. So you're gonna hold your shot, aiming. You doing sideways or upright?
Oh, he's very right and proper, upright.
Okay.
No sideways wrist shot. No.
You're aware that he is aiming at the one running away.
Yep. And there's still one in front of me, correct?
Yes.
Then I got to take that one. Without even turning, I'm just I'm gonna tilt my head so he recognizes, hopefully, that I'm talking to him. And I'm gonna say, "Yeah, we killed it, kid. I've got this one. Go get the other one." And I am going to swing at the one in front of me.
Yep. 6s.
Yep. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, no 6s.
That's 20 points of damage, ain't it?
Yep.
Okay. He's not dead, but he's starting to really wish it.
We're on our side of the divide right now. You're gonna regret coming here.
All right. So his reaction: he's enraged, he's foolish, and he's attacking you. He rolled much better this time. Got a crit, 18 points of damage.
Ouch!
Yeah, all successes. And now I'm rolling on a crit chart. By rolling 2 of your speed exactly, you go to the crit chart. The crit chart is the edge of a knife. It's a 1 through 10. If I roll high on it, good for me. If I roll low on it, bad for me.
Okay.
If you roll 3 of it exact, when you do an attack or a spell, it goes onto the ultra crit chart, which is all good stuff. But here we go. Let's see. Maybe I'll roll low and this will work against me. Rolled a 10. It goes to the ultra crit chart now. Here we go. The higher I roll here, the far more worse it is for you. 7. Ultra surge. For the next 4 rounds, this character's stats are all +2. He basically starts to the creature you're attacking.
Okay.
He hulks down.
So if you attack him next round, you're going to be trying to hit him with 8s instead of 6s.
Okay.
And he's going to do a lot more damage, and he's just raging.
All right.
Just kill him before he hits you again. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
That's what you want to do. Could have been something like triple the damage, so at least you didn't get that one. So the guy running, he is doing just that. He is scurrying down the hall. He's not looking back. He's also has no idea where the gun is. So he
gonna learn today.
He's gonna learn something right here. Yeah.
He's gonna learn real fast.
Back to the top of the lineup with Ramen.
Ramen did hear what Krieg yelled to him, and he shakes his head for a minute, and he glances at him and sees him take that massive hit, and he hesitates. But he was told what to do, so he turns and chases after the other one.
The one running down the hall, or the one...
Yep, I'm now chasing the running bogey.
Okay. You're going to be in the way for somebody's shot here, but...
I know that.
Okay, all right.
I'm aiming. I've been very careful. I
know.
Look, I have only shot somebody in the back one time in my entire role-playing career.
He's going to be partially concealed when you fire now, that's all.
I mean, eventually, after he's been free long enough, maybe Ramen will be a little bit less of a sheep, but he's used to following orders.
Only I can make this shot. It's okay.
While you're aiming and getting ready to pull the trigger, Ramen pops up in front of you.
That's all right.
Go ahead and take your shot.
All right.
So it's now he's more than half covered, so you're at 8s. You got to hit an 8 or higher with the one shot. If you roll a 1, you're hitting Ramen.
Nah, it's a 7. I rolled a 7.
Okay. At least you didn't hit Ramen.
Yep.
So you were aimed perfectly at him, and as soon as Ramen popped up, you were about to pull the trigger, and you pulled off the side and you fired. But there's a shot, nice and loud, right here in the hallway.
As he's running, Ramen flinches over towards the wall. What the F was that?
Yeah, there's definitely more shrieking from Ramen. So yeah, you missed him. He's gonna get around the corner.
You hear Deacon go.
No, you don't hear that because you're
kind of under my breath
ringing from the gunshot.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You have to be really loud. You go, sigh.
Yeah, right.
Alas, I have missed my shot. Wherefore sooth thou in my way, for I have missed my shot today.
Hey, nani nani.
Nice.
My composure is fleeting.
Perfect. You're up, Krieg.
Excellent. After having taken that shot and this thing got bigger, I'm like, wrong answer. And I'm gonna swing one more time.
Oh, great. You're trying to 8s or higher now.
Yep. So I've got 6, 8s or higher. I'm gonna move my dice into a different position to give myself a little more luck. 1, 2, 3,
Ooh.
4. That's
Really?
a 9, a 10, and a 10. No 6s.
They didn't need 6s. You needed 8s now.
Oh yeah, so there you go.
4 hits. That's another 20. That's enough. You take them down. Barely.
Yeah.
I didn't think you were going to roll that good, but there you go.
I didn't either. I didn't even prepare a one-liner, but I'll give it this one. And
for it.
what?
So it almost looks like it's deflating in front of you. It like puffed up, like extra fluffy, extra aggressive, and then it's just yeah, basically.
That's funny.
The other one
Kind of like floats down.
Yeah.
kind of gets around the corner, but Ramen, you are catching up to it. It takes the turn towards the stairs because it knows there's a door the other way and it's not going to be able to run as far.
Ramen glances back over his shoulder to see if the other two are following him, and he is not pursuing it around the corner in the dark by himself.
I was going to say, yeah, you're aware that bogeys can hide in shadows extremely well, and the light from the hallway ends at the corner.
All right.
Then at that point, I actually back away from the corner a little bit and wait.
Okay. The ringing in your ears dies down. It's run around the corner. If you guys are not pursuing it, we can drop out of conflict right here.
Yeah, I'm not going to pursue it. I'm going to start very carefully putting the canisters back in the crate.
Okay. So there's like slots for them. You're picking them up. You put the crate back up and you're carefully picking them up. You're looking at them to make sure there's nothing damaged on them, and you're sliding them back in.
As he's doing that, he'll look over at Krieg and say, so I say, could we be careful around the nitrogen explosives, please?
Why aren't we going to get it? It's alone. It's dead ends in an iron door.
Would you like to chase it? We can do so.
Not by myself.
Let no monster go untouched.
We can go get it, but let's
You hear
leave.
a voice go, I say we let it go.
Can I triangulate where that voice was? And
It sounds like it came from down around the corner.
around the corner? Okay. I say, though, let's leave the crate of explosives here and go chase it.
Ramen turns around and loudly, not quite screaming, loudly says, "Did you let Panini go? Did you let Meatloaf go? No! You eat him!"
Poor Panini. That was one of my favorites.
Krieg will look at you and say very quietly, keep him talking. And then I'm going to sneak down, hoping that they keep yelling at him and get him to respond.
All right. Your light's still off, right?
Yeah, I shut mine off at this point.
Yeah.
I'll flip mine back to the red filter.
Okay. So suddenly everything gets very dark again, and then your eyes adjust a little bit. But you're heading over to the corner.
Yeah, I'm going to sneak to the corner.
Yes. You're trying to keep a conversation going?
They are hopefully keeping the conversation going, calling him out, calling him names, getting him to speak. That's what I'm hoping they're doing. And because they're going to be making noise, that should make my sneaking easier is what I'm thinking.
Maybe he's right. Maybe we shouldn't be trying to go ahead and take out such an impressive specimen. Surely we have met our match.
Oh, it's not me you should be worried about. I think the monster will leave you alone if you just leave him alone.
Yeah, maybe he will. Maybe that's the right answer. Perhaps we should just leave him alone. He's very scary.
Give me a sneak roll, Mr. Krieg.
Sure.
+1 because they're being distracting. So you need a 7 or less. Oh, no, what's your sneak?
I rolled a 3. Oh. My sneak is a 6.
Yeah.
Normally, so yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're fine. You're stepping into the darkness, and as you come around the corner, it's just dark.
Okay. And as soon as I can hear where he is talking, that's where I'm swinging.
Okay. All right. It's going to be a little hard to hit when you can't actually see him, but he is talking. Right before you attack, he says, "You shouldn't be wasting your bullets on me. You should be saving them for Copperpot." And you swing. Give me... so it's going to be a +1 to his speed just because you can't see him. But you are trained in this. So his speed is right now 7s instead of 6s.
That's 3 hits.
Brutal
1 exact.
Okay.
Yeah, so 15.
Yeah, you can see him now. Well, once you hit him, he's visible. He's starts to run up the stairs.
As I hit him, I'm going to say, the more you tell me about Copperpot, the less this is going to hurt. And I'm going to give chase and cut him down.
All right. If it doesn't hurt at all, I'll tell you anything you want.
Then I'll make sure it doesn't hurt at all. Talk.
Give me a charm check. Your best stat, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I rolled it like a 6. Trying to think. Yeah, I got absolutely nothing that would... I have Serenity, so I guess I can make it... Namaste. I won't make it hurt at all.
He totally got that you meant, I'm still going to kill you. I'm just going to make it swift and pain. He didn't have that possible thought that you're not going to just kill him.
Yep. Yeah, the veil on the threat was not present.
Correct. So he decides to stop talking, and he just lashes out at you. You look hurt, so he's maybe I can somehow hit him. Since he also knows that top of the stairs, he's not going to be able to go anywhere anyway.
Yep.
But I am not rolling like you, my friend. Take 3 points of damage.
All right.
How are your hit points feeling?
Let me do some quick math here.
That good, huh?
I'm not quite at half.
Okay.
18 and 3 is 21.
I've taken more than 3, but I'm at 24. I'm at 24 right now. No.
Oh, okay. After 21.
Yeah, 24 right now.
Okay.
How close to the top of the stairs is he?
He didn't go up that far because he knows that you're just going to trap him there and kill him. He's not going to get backed up against an iron door.
So my character's not stupid. And I do want to know about this Copperpot.
And he knows that maybe that's all he's got. He doesn't know how to deal with you because you're big and scary.
So I take out the iron-laced rope and I try to swing it around, basically lasso me a Fae.
Okay.
I am skilled in hunting, so I assume...
and restraints and grappling.
And restraints and grappling, so
I'm going to
hog-tie me a furry beast.
Huh.
Give me a strength check, my friend.
All right, and strength is going to be 8, so...
You have a really good chance here.
Unfortunately, I did not do great with that strength check. I rolled a 9.
Fortunately, no one else in the party can see how you fubbed up here. And he gets another attack at you.
All right.
He's going to try to get past you, so he's only going to half attack you and then try to get past you.
Okay.
So, only 3 die at you. He lands 2 hits for 6 points.
All right.
And he's going to make a speed check versus your speed check to get past you, try to run the other way. Doesn't know where to go, but at least he's not going to get trapped at a dead end.
Yep.
Give me a speed check.
My speed is 6.
He failed.
I failed also.
All right, so you both have a clumsy moment where neither of you accomplishes anything.
Excellent.
And we're back to you. He is next to you. He was just trying to scoot down the steps next to you and run the other way.
Jay, I am holding my action that as soon as I see a Fae, as soon as I see this Fae round the corner, I am shooting my weapon again.
Okay.
And Ramen says to you, should we go help him?
I don't know. I'm much better from far. Why don't you go see if he needs help?
You gonna step right in front of the gunshot again?
As soon as I see Ramen come around the corner, I'm going to yell to the Fae, "You're cornered now!" And I'm just going to try again. Strength check, you said?
Yep, you're trying to... Yep, strength check.
That is a success. It's a 5.
All right. So because he sees Ramen, he stops, and you take that opportunity to, like, put the rope around him and pull it tight. It burns his skin. It leaves a mark. You manage to lasso yourself a boogie.
What's a copper pot? Where is it?
Copperpot's our leader.
What is he?
He's one of you guys.
He's a human?
There's something special about him, though. He called us all here.
What's he look like?
I don't know. You all look the same to me.
Colors. Hair color.
It's dark down here. Dark. Dark hair.
Ramen steps up beside Krieg. Is he the only other human down here?
He's looking at you.
Besides us.
He goes, "Hey, I know you. Hey, you're Jingits. You're Jingits guy."
I was about to ask about Jingit as well, and he hits him with a baseball bat in the face.
Give me, you just trying to pummel him? Just the death?
He's not even trying to specifically do damage. This is more of the shut up slap.
Alright, so just roll however many die you up to your speed that you want to swing at him with.
I'll go with 4 out of 7.
Okay. He's restrained, so you're trying to beat a 4 right now. It's minus
7, 8,
2.
9. Hit.
All 4 hit?
7, 8, 9 hit. 3.
3 hits?
Mhm.
Are you doing like full swings or just 1 point each?
1
So
point
3 points of damage? Alright, so you just give him a bloody nose. If he has a nose under there.
I'm telling you.
You're going to be in so much trouble! Ow! 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 Ow!
I'm telling you right now, and I'm tightening it up. You say another mean word to my friend, and I'm going to forget that I need to ask you questions.
Nods. Hey, these ropes are hurting. Can you... I can't go anywhere.
I promise you, I will loosen the ropes shortly.
He's not sure if he likes the sound of that, but...
How many more boogies are in there? How many did Copperpot call?
Oh, the whole troop's here. Lost a couple of the slaves on the way. Looks over at Ramen.
Grabs him by the front of his shirt. What about Hot Pocket?
He's not wearing a shirt.
Then I guess he's grabbing him by his chest fur.
There. What about Hot Pocket? Things happen. Oh, it wasn't me.
Ramen, go help Deacon with the
Meanwhile,
gifts.
Deacon, you're hearing this conversation around the corner.
Again, my gun is barely trained around the
His
corner.
eyes are pretty wide, and he looks at Krieg, and he looks at the bogey, and he looks at his bat, and he straight up Negans him like he's Glenn on his knees, which, if you don't watch The Walking Dead, means he does a double hand jumping over swing down onto his noggin in an attempt to crush his skull in.
Okay, so give me your full-on attack then. Again, it's 4s.
6 out of 7 with 2 4s.
So it's a crit. All right, 6 out of 7. Right off the bat, you do. Right off the bat, get it? You
3
do
times 6 is 18.
12 points of damage. And roll on the crit chart. Roll 1d10.
I do 3 points of damage per hit, so that's 18.
3 points per damage. All right. Now we just get to see what else you get out of this because you just killed him. But
I rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10 on the crit chart?
I did.
You're on the ultra crit chart. Roll another d10.
9.
Good gravy. We haven't used any, so I'll move down to the next one. Restore all hit points. Any damage you take, you're fully healed.
Hot. So that was
invigorated.
That was very liberating for Ramen.
And takes a deep, shuddering breath and feels stronger having crushed one of his captors.
Yeah.
Sorry if you guys wanted him alive more.
Krieg, you definitely feel like he's exercised some of his demons there. Like even those
Krieg has an actual look of shock. He actually has resigned himself that he's the quote-unquote bad guy in the crew. So he was actually going to try to spare the kid, have him walk around the corner so he could dispatch this guy.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's not necessary. He, as promised, loosens the ropes, shakes him off, starts walking down the stairs, and he says, "Kid, I'm not calling you Griff Jr. anymore. You're just Griff to me. Let's go." Pats him on the shoulder and just toddles off around the corner.
And he says to your back as he follows, "Yeah, we fucking killed him."
All right, so they come around the corner to a trained gun.
And when I see that it's you two, I'll lower the gun and just be like, "So it's done?
It's done."
Let's carry
Griff
on."
handled it, and he hands Griff the rope. He says, "Wrap it around. Now you're swinging iron, kid."
Then I guess we're going to take a few minutes and wrap me up a Lucille now that I'm full on Negan.
You're Neganing over here.
Yep.
All right. Krieg, he does that. Why don't you get on the cot? The crate.
Wow, Southie came through on that one, huh? I mean, it is what it is.
I just beat up a bad guy with a bat. Like I all of a sudden.
I don't know how you get more Southie than that. Yeah, Krieg's gonna start pushing the cart.
So we get to the fork in the road here at the end of the hall. Once you step over here, are you switching back to your bright light or are you sticking to the red light?
Sticking to the red light. Yep.
All right. So it looks really dank to your left and things smell foul in that direction. To your right, you see both left and right, you can make out doors down hallways. And right here at the intersection, right in front of you, is a pair of double doors with a small wired glass window in it with no light inside, so it doesn't really help you with you're just seeing the reflection of your red light off of the glass.
Does the door seem unlocked, though?
Yes.
What do you say, gents? Should we check out the room, or should we carry on?
I know I came from the right. It's up to you, boss.
Krieg, tactical assessment?
We go where the mission tells us to go.
Fair enough.
These things aren't going to keep forever, and sooner or later, something's going to make one of them go off. Might as well get them to where they need to be.
Off to the right.
Okay.
I will do one thing as far as the other path. I'm going to take one of my bear traps and set that up.
Okay. So
Nice.
there's enough filth and stuff. You can like almost conceal it in the. You know how I said there was like water down, like a half inch of water. Yep. And there's some debris and stuff that's fallen off the walls. You managed to pretty much make it invisible.
General detritus.
Nice.
Yep.
You set one of your traps. Okay.
That leaves me down to 3.
Yep. Nothing like a guy walking around with 4 bear traps hanging from his belt.
You laugh, but when he went running, if I had gotten the opportunity to do it, I was actually gonna frisbee one of those, just whack him in the back of the head with it.
Get the guy with it.
Yeah.
He knew that he was running towards a dead end, so it wasn't.
Sauce.
Yeah, I had this vision of him running up the stairs, getting close to the door. I hit him in the back of the head with the thing, and he banked his head into the iron door, and then rolled back to my feet so I could finish him off.
Damn.
Instead, you just managed to knock over the crate and then trip on the steps a little bit.
Yeah, potentially unleashing an explosion of... Anyway, carry on.
Biblical proportion.
All right, so you guys are taking the turn here?
Yep.
You left the trap behind you?
Correct.
And you guys are heading down the hall?
Yeah.
As you're heading down the hall, you're approaching the end of a hall. There is a door straight ahead, a door to your right, and a door to your left.
Did you come through any doors?
If I did, they had to be open at the time. I don't remember opening any doors. Do I remember opening any doors?
You may have... You remember taking your turns. You didn't remember if you had to push a door at any point.
There might have been a door. It's a blur. But at this turn, I went right, so it should be left.
Yep. Yep, agreed. Why is the door to the left unlocked?
There is a snap and a scream from behind you.
Got one. Do you want me to go back for it?
How badly?
Was it alone?
You hear a gurgly kind of a sound.
Yeah, I better go get it.
Do you want help with this one?
Yeah. Overwatch would be
Ramen
nice.
follows you unless he's told not to.
I got me and Griff got it. You good here? Or do you want to follow along? And
Keep the crate with me. I'll pull out my pistol and train it up.
all right.
He's kind of experimentally swinging his bat because it's a little heavier now. And he says, what do you think about putting iron nails through it? So they stick out like spikes.
Like, where your head is that, kid?
I did mention I've played a lot of Days Gone lately, and a baseball bat with nails
right
run
there,
through
my
it.
friend. Yeah.
It's getting a little dark, yeah.
So Deacon is staying with the crate.
Yes.
The two of you are heading back towards the trap.
Yep.
And I'm pulling out my pistol and I'm training it down the hallway. See if
Is anyone turning on full lighting?
I'll ask Krieg if he wants it.
You do what you need to do to stay safe. I'm going to be red light until I get where I should be straight on eyesight with our trap, with my trap, and then I'm going to flood it with light. That way nothing can be hiding when I go to handle whatever's caught.
All right, so you're trying to get close to the trap before you flip on the bright light.
Correct.
Okay.
And Ramen moves to the shadows beside and slightly behind him and hides in the shadows
All right,
and
so
creeps.
Ramen, give me your good old sneak in the shadows check. Krieg, I assume you are trying to make your presence known? Or you trying to sneak up? You are glowing red. So.
Yeah.
It's 1 on an 8.
Okay.
If I'm noticed, that means if I'm obviously noticed, that means he's not. So
He is definitely not right now. You and your red light are heading down the hall, and that's what they see.
yeah, as soon as I'm in sight, I'm gonna flip to the white light.
So there's
See what I
you hear
caught.
your trap like clanging, like something's in it. You can't really see it in the murk and gloom. And right here, you're back at that fork in the road that you were just at.
Yep.
And it's extra thick here.
Yep.
It smells extra thick too, but yeah, it is thick. So you're gonna hit the light on.
Hit the big light. Yep.
Boom! As your eyes adjust, you see 6 bluish green things. They have horns and very angular features. One of them is caught into his chest in the bear trap, and they're all pulling it apart. And suddenly, with your bright light on, not the one that's stuck in the trap, but the other 5's eyes train right to you.
I'm gonna rush up and start swinging.
Initiative.
I was gonna say I'm gonna rush up and start swinging.
Yep. So you get a +2 to your initiative because you were spearheading this. You turned on the light. You sprung the trap basically.
Ooh, that did not help me at all. So that's gonna be initiative is gonna be, you said wit?
It's your wit plus a D10. +2.
I rolled a 7 for a wit of 7 for a 14 again. That's twice in a row.
At least you're.
I rolled a 1.
Does that count as a crit on initiative?
It
so
does
that's
not.
a 7. And 2 is, I'm at a 9.
9. So
Yeah,
as
I
much as
rolled
you were
very
ready to
poorly.
go first, I think seeing these things threw you off. So first one to go down here is Griff.
Jay, I'll also be at 14, by the way.
All right. So you're both at 14. Let's see who has a higher speed out of the two of you.
I'm assuming him.
Craig does. So Craig will go. Oh, sorry. Ramen has the highest speed, so Ramen goes first.
Right.
Then
You called me
Deacon-
Griff, though, which I thought was entertaining. Lewanika is successfully renaming Ramen into Griff.
I'll call you either, whichever you prefer.
Ramen hasn't made a choice yet.
Okay. So we're at Ramen first, then Deacon, then A, B, C, D, and E. F is trapped, and
FF.
And then Mr. leading the charge has a little bit of a brain fart there.
There's more than he thought there was going to be. When there was 6, he was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. And they all look at you with their little yellowy eyes. They look like waterlogged imps, I guess would be the quickest way to put it. Like, they look like they've been marinated in porta-john water for a while, kind of a thing. Like, they're bluish and sticky, and yeah, that kind of an essence to them. But first up is Ramen. Nobody sees you right now, Ramen.
But nobody's specifically within range, right?
And you can step into range, but you're not invisible if you do that.
Right. Am I... okay, I was to the side of...
So your options are you can use any abilities. You can hold your action if you want. You have a high enough wit that you can actually interrupt in the middle of someone's action. So basically, as long as
I'm
you
going to hold
interrupt-
my action And the first one that charges Krieg,
You're gonna hit.
I'm gonna do a Happy Gilmore golf swing on.
Okay, that works. So yeah, you have a high enough width that, as it says on your character sheet, you can actually interrupt an action. Basically, you have to interrupt it before I roll the dice. So if I say, all right, he's attacking, and I pick up the dice, as long as you stop me before I roll the dice,
Okay.
you can step in, because you have your brain's fast enough that you can, like, insert yourself in there. You're holding your action. Deacon, you're up. From where you are, down at the end of the hall with the box, all you can really see are the two silhouettes of your two crew members, and around them there is something. You're not sure what.
My handgun has a range of 80 feet, and Krieg just flooded the area with light. I can't see any of the targets.
All right, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
And are they?
Not sure what it is, but there's something you can aim for it.
Yeah,
or one of them.
They seem to be a particular shade of blue, so I feel pretty confident I can put one between the peepers. So I will do that. I'm going to take a shot at one of the targets.
Okay.
Whichever one I can see. Doesn't matter.
Yep. 6 or higher on the one you're targeting.
That's a 10.
That is a hit.
Yep. So it'll be
now for some serious pain.
Yep. That will be 40 points of damage.
40 freaking points of damage. Don't we love guns? Kaboom! Right off the bat, as these things turn and look at you guys in the light, one of them just explodes.
Are you shooting a 45 or a hand cannon peacemaker thing?
Got one.
Weapons, guns hurt everybody. Guns are dangerous in this game in general. If you're playing Fae monsters, if someone whips out a gun and shoots you and hits you with it, it's gonna hurt. Or kill you.
Nice.
You did how much damage?
40.
40.
Example.
That wasn't even a great
healthy
damage roll.
Craig could take that gunshot, but he'd be pretty close to done at that point.
Yeah. My gun does 2d10 times 5 damage.
And it's one of the weaker guns.
Yeah. So I didn't even... Thank you for joining us. This has been Tabletop Journeys. We would love to hear your feedback on our show today. Join us at www.ttjourneys.com, where you can subscribe to the blog to leave comments and see all the content that we publish beyond the podcast.
You can also stay in touch by subscribing to our Twitter, Tumblr, or Instagram at TT Journeys, joining our Facebook group, Tabletop Journeys, or by sending an email directly to podcast@ttjourneys.com. Our full episodes come out every week on Friday, and every Tuesday features actual play and gameplay showcase episodes. Looking for early access? You can support the show and get episodes before everyone else at www.patreon.com/TT Journeys. Check it out today and see all the awesome benefits we bring to our supporters.
Lastly, if you're listening to us on Stitcher, iTunes, Podchaser, Spotify, or Audible, we would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to the podcast on that platform. Thank you for listening and for being a part of our growing community. And we bid you fair tides, friends, for legends await.